I have seen so many people saying adding corn flour to your chicken wings takes them to the next level. I had some spare heat and I was seasoning my new barbecue, so I thought I'd give it a go. Let's see if it works. For this test, I'm going to use a super cheap pack of Aldi chicken wings. This is 1 kilogram and it costs about £2.90. Chicken wings are a great piece of meat to do little test runs like this on because they're really cheap and they're one of the easiest things you can cook. Now you can cook these things whole as is, or do like I'm doing and separate the drum from the flat and then cut off the tip. I prefer doing them this way, but it's entirely up to you, and the great thing about chicken wings is that you can experiment, see what works for you. I tend to do these as a bit of a weekday cook, try out new rubs, that kind of thing, because if it all goes wrong, it doesn't really matter, I haven't lost loads of money. With those all nicely butchered, you've got a big old pile of tips. I put these in a bag in the freezer with my other chicken offcuts to make stock with. But if that sounds like hard work to you, just throw them away. And then we're going to season these wings up. I'm just going to use some salt, pepper and garlic rub. This is just equal parts salt, ground black pepper and garlic granules. And throw on some olive oil for a little bit more fat and to help that seasoning spread. And give it a mix. The coverage on these didn't look great, so I just added a little bit more SPG. And now it's time to test the theory out with some corn flour. I'm just going to put enough so they get a good even coat. Now I know for certain that this works very well if you're going to deep fat fry them, but will it work on the barbecue? Again, the coverage wasn't great, so I've added some more. It's very easy to add, but hard to take away. And once they're coated, it's out to the barbecue. I am using my Weber Master Touch, but any lidded barbecue will do that can get nice and hot. I'm using some restaurant grade Big K to fill up my chimney starter. This stuff comes in nice big chunks, gets really hot and lasts for ages. And if you're thinking, my goodness, Ed keeps his barbecue clean, well, you would be wrong. This is a brand new barbecue, which is why it looks so shiny. This is actually its first cook and I season it before I put the chicken wings on. If you want to see that video, check out my video from last week. After about 20 minutes in the chimney starter, the coals on top are all lit and this is ready to put into the charcoal baskets. I've set my charcoal baskets one to each side to give a nice cool zone in the middle. If you haven't got charcoal baskets, it's fine. You just bank up all your charcoal on one side and it gives you a hot zone and a cool zone. With all your charcoal in, just whack on the grates, close up the lid and let it get nice and hot. On the Weber, I just leave all of the vents completely open. You're looking to get as close to 250 degrees Celsius as you possibly can. This nice hot temperature allows those chicken wings to crisp up nicely. If I had a vortex, I'd use that, but I don't. And with all those wings set up in the cool zone, it's time to close that lid and let it run for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, they're just starting to brown, so you just want to flip them over so they can cook evenly. Once flipped, let them run again for at least another 10 minutes. So after around 20 minutes cooking time in total, these wings are fully cooked through, but I'm not quite happy with the finish. So I move over the coals to crisp up. I run them over those hot coals for about 2 minutes with the lid closed and then give them another flip to crisp up on the other side. Close the lid again for that second batch of 2 minutes and then they're ready to pull. And we get to see if it's worked or not. Now you can see visually they look pretty nice. They've crisped up quite well and they're looking a little bit like deep fried chicken. So I'll get them inside and see how we've done. Now they look golden, crispy, and they smell absolutely delicious, but they are looking a little bit dry on the outside. What I'm going to do is split these into 2 batches and I'm going to apply sauce to one of them and leave the other ones plain. I always like to sauce my wings after I've cooked them on the barbecue because it means you get the full flavour of the sauce and it hasn't burnt off. So it'll be interesting to see how this new coating affects it. I'm just going to use my knockoff Nando's sauce as a little dipping sauce for the plain ones, and some Frank's RedHot Buffalo wing sauce for the sauced ones. This is my favourite buffalo sauce and it's my go-to when making wings. And with those wings coated, it is time for my conclusions. Did adding corn flour take my wings to the next level? Well, yes and no. Let me explain. For me, the wings that I left plain just didn't work. They looked good, but they were just a bit too mealy in your mouth. I think they just needed some more fat. However, when you added the sauce, it changed completely. That flouriness actually helped the sauce really absorb into the skin of the chicken, and I think made it better than normal sauce wings. Let me know in the comments your go-to method for wings.